Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Screen. What an incredible night we had last night. I am still recovering somewhat from a 4-hour session and all of the prep and everything that went into it. But it was incredible and it was awesome, and we've learned things from it and things that we plan to apply moving forward. Yes, but I got lots of sleep. I am recharged and ready, especially coming into next season of Into the Mist. Some of you have already said in chat, we are currently playing the Hopeless Village sound set from Syrinscape. So if you go to Syrinscape.com/RealmSmith and type RealmSmith in the search bar, you'll find this sound set for purchase. This will be playing, obviously, in the next season, and we'll have more sound sets that we release as we go throughout the entirety of next season. We have decided as RealmSmith that we are going to take a break from broadcasting for the next 2 weeks or so leading up to the premiere. As we announced last night, we are premiering the season premiere of Into the Mist as part of Founders and Legends, which we're hosting on July 18th. So Saturday, July 18th is actually when we will be airing it. So it's a Saturday night, but the 2 Mondays before we'll be airing the 2-part season finale of Into the Mist, and then we will also be adding some things. So but if you want to catch up, as Shad has mentioned in the chat, you can catch all of Into the Mist on our YouTube playlist, which he has just placed into the chat, so that you all can catch up if you haven't been tracking with Into the Mist up to this point. I will tell you, it's an epic season coming, and if you remember correctly, the players, characters, were given a invitation at the end of last season by Strahd to join him at Castle Ravenloft. We'll see what they do with that invite moving forward. I'm losing a bit of my voice. Again, lots of talking last night. But like I said, we will be airing some things and some reruns and stuff. But just so you know, we're going to take a bit of a break. That includes from Nolzers for the next couple weeks, just so that we can recharge, plan. There's tons of writing that I have to do and adventure prep that I need to do. And I haven't taken a decent time of recharging in a couple years. So that is going to be my time to just dig in, focus on a bunch of different things. And just make sure that we can start the next season with a massive burst of fresh energy and zeal and all of that wonderful stuff. I do have questions. What we'll do is, for the first half hour or so, we'll take questions regarding our Tides of Wildemount campaign, about the finale last night. For those of you that had watched it, there will be some spoilers for the season if you haven't watched it, so just cover your ears for certain parts. And then for the last half hour, we'll be talking about Into the Mist, including what will be happening for our Discord community moving forward at that point, which is so super pumped. And I do see Redbeard saying that he's going to miss Wildemount. I'm going to miss it too. It's been great. It's been incredible, and what an awesome opportunity and blessing. But it'll be back, guys. November, it will be back. We'll do another 13 episodes of Wildemount. And this also allows us to kind of take a creative break, as it were. If you keep on the same campaign, especially for me, for my ADHD brain, to keep going on a campaign setting can get a little dry after a while. So it's just nice to take a bit of a break and to come back, and then return fully energized. Wow, I'm just very mellow right now. It's nice, actually. the calm after the storm, as it were. Okay, so let's get into some questions. If you have a question, write questions in all caps, and we will answer those. I don't think we're in subscriber-only chat. No, we are not. So anybody can ask a question. Again, if you have anything about the last night, let me just say, last night, and I think Redbeard is talking about it, last night was bananas. For those of you that hadn't watched, we conducted a revelry naval battle against the Clovis Concorde with all of our captains and our officers on the Zoom call in their ships, and it was madness, and it was insane, and it was crazy, and it was really emotional. Last night I almost broke into tears 3 or 4 times throughout the session, because it means so much to us to have you guys be a part of our story and support us, and to know that you guys are out there. And we really want to continue to do things that nobody else is doing, to evolve, to innovate on D&D and D&D streaming on a regular basis. We have tons of plans for the next coming seasons. I cannot wait for some of the stuff that we have in store for you guys. Had a conversation literally an hour ago that is going to be 2 conversations today that are going to be super freaking cool for the future of RealmSmith. So we'll jump into some questions here, and then we'll start talking about Into the Mist. And again, your questions can be about Tides of Wildemount. It can be about RealmSmith in general. It can be about our organization. It can be about our players. It could be about what it's like to DM. It could be about the entire season of Tides of Wildemount, and it could also be part of. It can also be a question about Into the Mist. But all Discord-related kind of stuff will wait till the second half of the hour at 8:30 Eastern to answer those questions. All right. Our wonderful mods, who are incredible. I want to say a huge shout out. I did this already in our Discord. A huge shout out to our Smith Guardians, who are our mods, our moderators for our Discord and for our Twitch. They have been incredible and a huge support to us. We couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are the backbone of it. And a special shout out, like I said before, to Shadster and Prometheus Bound for a massive thank you, because those guys work tirelessly to manage the community. It's a thankless position in a lot of ways. We couldn't pay them enough for what they have done for this, and we're trying, and we'll get to a point eventually where we can give back, but we just want to say a massive thank you to those guys for everything that they do, because we couldn't do it without you. And it's just really important that we say that. So huzzah to those guys. All right. And Melanie obviously doesn't know that I'm currently streaming, because she's texting me. 1 second. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do something really fun right here for a minute. I'm on my show, and you clearly on the internet right now, and you clearly don't know that I'm streaming, because you keep messaging me.
I just looked at Twitch and I'm like, oh no!
But people can see you when I turn this phone around, so I'm just going to turn the phone around.
Oh no!
Say hi to everyone.
Hi everyone. Oops. I forgot.
Oh, she's so pretty. Okay, that's enough of the smushy stuff. People are in the Twitch, they're saying, hi Mel, Mel, hi Mel, it's Mel. Constantly. Mel, we love you. Miss you, Mel. Hi Mel, love the shirt. It's a dress. But it's very, very nice.
It's a romper.
It's a romper. Oh, don't show too much of the romper. Yeah, all kinds of Isla emojis are showing up. So can we announce that you were going to be part of the miscast for this coming season? Yes, we can. So Mel will be back in the role of Callie for Into the Mist, starting with the season premiere. That's very exciting, and everyone can absolutely amazeballs. Yes, they say all kinds of heart emojis, and yay, Mel is back, and yay, Callie's back. Woohoo, yay. So
it's not. That's like crazy that like I'm just me, and it's crazy that people like me.
I don't think it's crazy that people like you. I kind of like you too.
It's just weird. I don't feel like I deserve it, so I'm thankful.
Roman Wolf says, Calagon, take me away.
Right, you got it. Right, nobody else at the table got it, but you got it.
And Galix, Tim34 just posted 27 Islas in the chat, I think. I haven't counted them, but it looks about 27s. What's good? Stab him in the eye holes, Easy AK says. You have fans, Melanie. You have fans. Well, while you're on right now, are there any questions for Melanie /Isla/Callie real quick while she's on the show?
I was not ready for this.
Well,
I did not touch up my makeup. I'm just outside in my backyard. I didn't know this was happening.
You're literally 4 inches tall on the screen, so I don't think.
Okay, good.
I don't think that people will worry too much about what your makeup looks like.
There's no questions.
VDA Monster says, don't forget to take a pee break. Oh, wait, that's for Mist. No, that's real life too. Mel pees every 10 minutes in real life too.
I've birthed 3 babies. There's no holding it.
Daza asks, question, what has Isla been doing? We don't know, and we might find out next session of...
Been drinking.
She's been drinking.
Yes.
And that goes for... that goes for...
Me as well.
That goes for you, and for Isla, and for Callie, really.
I feel like Isla... No, I feel like Isla I had a harder connection to, because I don't feel like she was as bad as Callie, so...
Yeah.
I had a hard time connecting to Isla. I did. I could connect to Callie because I felt like we had this inner thing, but I feel like Isla wouldn't have drank as much, so it was hard.
That's true. Tam Good says it's your superpower, Mel, so that's good. And Galix says it was 18 emojis, not 24, just to be clear. And Redbeard says, "Aw, let Mel relax." No, she's been relaxing while we've been playing every week, so...
I need to know who Redbeard is, because I feel like I have a thing with Redbeard too.
Oh, yeah?
We message on the Twitch channel, so...
Oh, cool.
I need to know who that is.
Okay. Don't have any questions coming in yet other than what has Isla been doing.
Okay, do I hear things?
Well, it's okay. What I'm going to say, though, what I'm going to ask you is, what do you miss the most about playing Into the Mist, about playing Callie?
Well, about Callie?
Yeah.
Well, I just miss being around the table with people. That's, like, my big thing. I just miss having fun with Callie. I miss, like, getting in trouble and, like, being silly and connecting with Sterling. I really miss that. No, I just really miss... I really miss you guys. I have a hard time, like, watching and not being into it. So I really miss just being there.
Aww.
Yeah.
Mazmaz says, are we sure Isla didn't just eat some cheese before sleeping that night?
That was Gazielle. That wasn't... Yeah.
Night Roads asks, will Callie continue to spook Falfer? He peed himself.
Yes, I absolutely will. I think that's my thing. I just need to, like, keep everybody on toes. Yeah. For what I don't know about the game and the rules and all that, I make up for in my, like, comical, like, I don't know, whatever the word is. So
yeah.
I don't know the techniques of D&D, but I can keep you guys laughing, I hope. So.
Oh, you have, absolutely. Question from Zexus154. Mel, what is your most favorite moment from Into the Mist?
My favorite moment? the very like first time. We're all waiting in the living room to go to the studio, and I went downstairs, and Jason's like asking me questions and all that, and I'm trying to be all professional, and I'm legit like sweating out my armpits, like I'm uselessly sweating because I don't know what to do. And then he told me to like roll the dice, and I'm like, what? This is the beginning of the game? Like, I felt like this is a whole like opening the door to a new realm of stuff. So I remember that like pretty distinctly. I remember like a moment when I wanted to hold Sterling's hand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember like more about it, but I remember like wanting to hold his hand, and that a big moment for me too. But yeah, that good?
Yeah, that's great. I remember stabbing in the eye holes. That's everybody remembers that. I remember when you peed in the coffin. That was really great.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great moment.
Right.
There were lots of good. I heard one of the best moments of the entire season was when Adam and David's characters, Dimitri and Roan, got caught outside the secret door, and the conversation that happened during that, and then you wanting to burst in and jump on the bed with Sterling because he's a kid.
Like, right? Like, when I'm like thinking about it, I'm thinking of it like how it's playing out in a movie. I'm not great at imagining. Like, this game is all about pretending, and I don't know how to pretend. I don't know if there's something wrong in my DNA, but I don't know how to pretend. Like, I can't play T with my kids. I don't know how to do that. So, like, thinking about it, I'm thinking about how it would, like, kind of play out in a movie.
Yeah.
And I just imagined in that moment that I would grab his hand and jump on the bed. Like,
that's great.
I don't know.
Tam Good said one of her favorite. She goes, "Oh, when she got a hold of Irina. Remember when you were in Irina's house and you put her up against the wall with a knife to her neck? That was like everybody's like, oh, around the table."
I didn't know. I was not supposed to do that. Like, I don't know.
No, and that's about D&D. There's nothing that you're not supposed to do. You're just supposed to have fun and do what you want to do. You can do anything you want. There are consequences to the actions that are done. But that's the wonderful thing about D&D. There are no boundaries when it comes to what your character can do. Within the rules, obviously, within the capabilities of the character. There was one more question here. What are you going to say to Strahd when you guys go for dinner at the castle?
Oh, probably something sarcastic. Like, I got to think about that, but I'm sure it's not going to be like PG, knowing me. So I have no idea. Is that our next thing? We're going to go have dinner with Strahd?
Well, I don't know. You guys, excuse me, allergies. You guys were invited to his castle at the end of the last season, right? You guys got that letter as part of the finale. So
I remember I tried to woo him. But it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
I don't know. I don't know, but I will absolutely try to do something off the cuff and try to off. So I hope is Matt Mercer coming back.
The what? Sorry.
Is Matt Mercer coming back?
Well, we don't know yet.
Oh.
We don't know who will be back. We announced last night that Nora will be back as Esmeralda for the first few sessions at least.
I saw that.
But we're just trying to figure out who else will be back. So we'll figure out how that goes. Ket Matari, his comment is, pretend is good, but your natural personality asks interesting questions, so you're okay with us.
Yeah, thank you.
S. Good Kai says, bless you for me, for sneezing. Thank you.
Hey, Jason.
Yes.
You need your haircut? Is that why you're wearing a hat?
No, yes. If I knew a stylist who could cut my hair during a pandemic, that'd be great.
I think the barbers are open.
Yeah, they're probably open. But it's a little cold in here today. It's not as sunny, so it's not as warm, and air conditioning is really cold in the studio, so.
No.
There was one more. I thought there was one more. Sakura said, I felt the same at my first role. I'm new to D&D too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
There's also like this added pressure for me because I don't want to let anybody down, and I'm bad at that I just don't want to let any of the fans down, and I want to make sure that I'm, I don't know, like doing right by the people that know want to look stupid. I don't want to like. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important to realize that just being you and playing your characters, the everybody loves you anyways. I mean, the great thing about new characters, and especially new players, and especially you, is that you think outside the box, like throwing the cloak over that creature that one time, or in the wealth, using the rope. Like, there's just things that players that have played for a while don't do, that you think of because you're thinking outside the box. You're thinking like it's kind of a real life sort of situation. So,
yeah, and I think that like with Callie, I didn't deviate a lot out of my own persona. Where Brandon, who has been doing this, is so great with characters, and Adam too, that is so great with making characters. They can kind of go off their own persona, and they can venture into new parts of themselves or not themselves. Where I couldn't. So I think Callie's a lot like who I would be. So now I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, and they're saying in the chat too, like Tam Good's saying, a lot of us don't know the game anyways, so it's good. Like it's great to represent a new player. It's good to have a new player at the table that will represent the viewers who are watching, so that they don't feel so bad learning the game too, right? And getting in. I think that's an incredibly important thing that you kind of bring to the table. And she also said, a lot of us don't know... she also said... S. Good Kai said, well, you being you, there's no way you'd let us down, Mel.
Oh, man, don't do that to me. I'll cry. I've had wine, so I'll cry.
Yeah, and Sakura said, you learn from the players who know. And you have. Like, you've gotten a lot quicker with your roles and kind of knowing the rules and knowing what you're able to do. And I think coming back to the table for Into the Mist is going to be... a lot different than it was at the beginning for you, because now you're kind of more in touch and in tune with what's going on, right? So
that when I come back, I'll be quicker with the rules and the foundation of playing D&D, but I'm still like Melanie, so I'm still going to be sarcastic, and I'm still going to be silly and like kind of pull things out of the air that nobody else would, and kind of go, oh no, she didn't just say she. Who I am. I can't like...
We love that about you, though.
I can't. That's just who I am, so... I don't know.
No, we love that about you.
Ben, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for like, accepting that and, like, I don't know, not making me feel like poop because of that. That makes me feel...
Yeah.
That makes me feel good.
Sakura says, you can't, though. Just be you and do you. Jazzfall says, no worries, Mel. You're loved, and it's okay to just be you.
You guys need to come to my house. Come to my house and let's like hang out.
Yeah, it's great. It's so good. Maybe one day we'll all go to a convention and hang out together. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay. You go do you, and I'm gonna finish the show. But I love ya.
Okay, bye.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Oh, Mel. She's just so uniquely Mel. I love it. Okay, I do know there's some more questions here in the chat. Leah asks, Jason, would you allow a player to have an additional weakness or vulnerability if they put it in their backstory, i.e. Liam having Caleb suffer from a mental disconnect when he casts fire spells? Absolutely, and I've done it many times. So one of the players who loves to do that the most and is really good at it is Brandon, who with Snow made himself blind. What greater weakness or challenge, it's not a weakness, I won't call it a weakness. What greater challenge would there be than to play a blind character and keep that up and close his eyes and really, like, he's incredible at it, and he's representing that part of life so well and so great at the table. So I would absolutely do that. I think it adds and another way to do it is if a character rolls, or if a player rolls a really low stat for a character. Joel, for example, I think Falfer's strength is like 8 or something like that, and I just said to him, like, he said actually first, he's like, it just builds character, I'm going to keep it, because that just adds to story. Good moments and exciting moments add to story, and good things, but so do bad things. Take Curse of Strahd, for example. It's really great. So I would absolutely allow that, and have many times. Crocus Maximus asked any ETA on the date for the face masks. That is one of the things this week that I really want to nail down, is how we can get those face masks out. Things with the finale got crazy, so unfortunately we just had to kind of hunker down and make sure that got through, but we will be releasing those as soon as we can. Hopefully. Roman Wolf asked, Bolt seemed very surprised at the end. Was it planned, or did he only have a vague idea? You're talking about the vision? He had no idea. He had no idea the dream was going to happen. I fed into his backstory that he had written and created, but he had no idea that dream was coming. So his surprise was actually surprise, even though I did pull from his backstory. Finke213 asks, was it always your intention to include the Twilight Phoenix in such a way to the campaign? Ooh, somebody's on to me. So all I'll say about that is, again, we want to, and this is spoiler territory for the last season of Titles of Wildemount, so spoiler warning, but I've always said that I want to make sure that we kind of blaze our own trail apart from what Critical Role does. So it's very delicate because we don't want to affect anything that might affect canon for them. So we want to try our best to straddle kind of that line and figure out how we can still build our own and blaze our own trail without stepping on any toes. And yes, it had been a plan for a while. And Julian and Josh, who are part of my writing staff, and we kind of sit down and we think about things because they know Wildemount really super well. They know Critical Role really super well. So they're a great resource for me when I'm preparing. And we had decided that we were going to take a bit of a different path. Probably about midway through the season, we decided that we were going to take that path. So cool for catching on to that. Out there, Finke. Sidafar, love to you too, Jason. Aw, thanks. Hulk Reality asks, what did you love the most about the team of players, the most that gave you the feels? I'm assuming you're talking about last night, when I kind of got a bit emotional. There was a couple times when the Revelry came on, I got emotional. You guys could all tell. I actually think I even said it. While I was doing the dream sequence with Adam, and at the end there, while Nora was kind of getting emotional, she was tearing up, I was as well. And there have been a couple times, the finale of Into the Mist at the end with Lillard and Nora and myself and everybody at the table, it was really emotional, if you remember that. So yeah, there have been lots of kind of heartstring pulling moments. Question from Ket Matari, or spoiler, Bolt's dream seemed to be in part about the Chroma Concord taking over Teldori, and more specifically Draconia. So was he a survivor, and did you all plan that aspect in the beginning, or did it develop over the season? So yes, you've caught on to the Chroma Conclave, the Teldori thing, and season 1 of Critical Role. But yes, he would have probably, if you read into that dream, you imagine that he probably came from Draconia, and experienced the fall of it in his dream, or in his life, according to his dream. Leah asked, I've been playing around with the idea of a character that suffers pain from silver. Ooh, very interesting. I like that idea. Is there possibly some lycanthropy in the blood? Very cool. Any leaks for upcoming Into the Mist RP Discord? Perfect segue, Zexus. RealmSmith says, RealmSmith Melanie says, I shouldn't be here, but I just wanted to say thank you to all who love and support me. Aw, very sweet. Okay, I might go. Don't want to spoil the fun. Cheers, everyone. I'm not going to talk anymore about spoilers. Antipodian, so you can stay. And Mel is in the chat, so you all can say hi to her. Okay, here it is, folks. We have decided. So let me talk first about Wildemount, and our thoughts and our collection, our our learnings from what we did on the Discord. We're figuring this out as we go, guys. So first of all, thank you for your patience to our community who went through it all with us. That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is that there's a number of things that we've learned through it. And we're just going to get better at it, and we want to build a community that's interactive. We don't know how we're going to do it. We have ideas. We launch those ideas. We see how they go. Sometimes we pull them back. Sometimes we charge forward. It's all a big kind of experiment to figure it out. So a couple things we learned. First off, it's the first thing we learned is putting rankings for captains assumes a lot from the community and pushes them in ways that potentially may not be comfortable for them. Our captains did an incredible job. Well, we're realizing that making somebody in charge of something is difficult because maybe that person isn't a natural born leader, or maybe isn't sort of interested in that, but still want to be a tier 3 and support. So we've decided that into the next season that we are going to make the tiered levels more about status than about rank, if that makes sense, so that we allow more of a welcoming kind of approach to, and I imagine more people didn't become captains because they didn't want the responsibility. The existing captains did an incredible job. We thank them for their support and for all of that. So that's one thing we learned. Another thing we learned is that we didn't expect it to grow as quickly as we could, so we kind of like chasing it and kind of catching up to it the whole time. It's incredible, but we realized that one of the most kind of compelling things about the Discord RP is that it ran in tandem with the campaign that our characters were on. That's important, I think, which is why we're going to, as I mentioned before, freeze the Dark Toe Discord, basically freeze it in time like a super soldier, and then come back to it when we come back, and then we'll continue on so that the story will move along in tandem with the players as it goes. We had talked about not broadcasting for the next little while. We're still going to show stuff, but production is going to ramp up again for the intro, or for the premiere, so of Into the Mist. So only a couple weeks we'll be kind of doing reruns and things like that, and then we'll be right back up and going. So we've decided that in order to, now in the current climate, I keep almost telling you, and then I keep remembering things, in the current climate of where the world's going, it educated a lot of what we're deciding to do, and a lot of the awareness that is coming to light with the Black Lives Matter movement, and making sure that we're inclusive and smart about kind of races in the game and how that works and how all that fits, and really walking alongside Dungeons and Dragons with their decisions and their ideas of how certain races should be seen or conveyed in their game. And we're taking a lot of our lead from them during the next season. And a comment from Sakura says, I like this idea. That is why I didn't go to tier 3. And that's what we imagined. We imagined there was a bunch of people who really wanted to be tier 3s, but didn't want the responsibility of being captain and having to captain a whole ship. So we've decided that the Discord RP will focus around the Vistani. A lot of you saw this coming. A lot of you, I'm assuming, guessed that is probably the direction that we would go in. And RealmSmith Melanie says, how are you so freaking cute? Aw. And so with the Vistani is a very interesting opportunity. First off, there are some concerns and some things that have been raised by the community about the way that they're portrayed, and they're close to the Romani people of real life and displaced and down on the luck and stuff. And so we're giving the community an opportunity to give the Vistani a voice that they deserve as a people of their own, doing what they do best and all of that kind of stuff. So that's one big thing is we want to make sure that we give justice to the Vistani and make sure that they are conveyed the way that we see them at RealmSmith and at the table. There are a bunch of benefits about Vistani being the center of the Discord and about the community RP that occurs. The first thing is they can come in and out of Barovia as they wish. They have been given free reign by Strahd to do so and are protected by Strahd actually within the lands of Barovia. So his minions will not affect the Vistani. Which means that when you want to do side quests, if we run side quests with mods and all that kind of stuff, it could be anywhere in the realms. Because Barovia is a extra plane outside of the rest of existence. So, and people come from everywhere to come to Barovia. So the Vistani could literally travel wherever they want in that case. So you could basically run mini adventures anywhere in the known worlds of D&D, which is great. So that's a big one. The other one is that Barovia is very small. So the Wildemount is huge. Menagerie Coast itself is huge. Barovia is so small that and this is the issue that we're having with Wildemount. So some of the considerations we're having with Wildemount is that the players have to be along the Menagerie Coast and around Darktoe to communicate with the Revelry. And it's really limiting for narrative to have it interact. In Barovia, things are a lot closer. So imagine the ability to, and I'm throwing things out here and we're still sorting out all the details, but imagine having a Vistani camp with wagons that you can upgrade, that you can buy, that you can do things. You can upgrade to a camp, you can add people to your little Vistani clan camp, and meet the players on an ongoing basis, wherever they are in Barovia, wherever they go, because again, it takes 4 hours or 5 hours, maybe 6 hours to go across Barovia, border to border. There is much more of an opportunity to kind of be intertwined with the narrative campaign of the players. The other opportunity here is that, of course, with Grigori and Extra Life, to be able to actually possibly, and this is again just ideas, travel to other realms as Vistani and bring back items into Barovia for the players to sell and all of this kind of stuff. So there's lots of opportunities here. There isn't much more I can say about it now because we haven't figured out everything of how it's going to go. But I thought it was important that, it's great that Vistani kind of sit outside of the world and the narrative that's happening in the campaign, but they're still a part of it. So imagine the players walk into an inn the same day that some of the, community is talking in a certain inn in there, and then all of a sudden those characters appear on our stream, either in narrative form or in Zoom form, whatever the case may be. So anyways, lots of ideas to go. I will take questions now for the next 15 minutes on this whole idea. And if you guys hate it and everybody says they hate it, then maybe we have to switch gears in the next 2 weeks. But that is the idea of kind of where we're going with what we want to do. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. It's going to be interactive. We have lots of opportunities for you guys to be involved and support. And so it's going to be a blast. Let's see. A comment from the Antipodian. Exactly my reason. Timing difference here would mean that would be difficult for me to be a captain. Exactly. So I think this solves a lot of those issues. What are the more inclusive D&D ideas being discussed? Just want to be up. So there's a lot of talk regarding drow and orcs and innately evil races, and not really giving the opportunity. And Matt Mercer's done a beautiful job of opening up that scope in Wildemount and in his world in Exandria, about that there are good orc tribes and there are good drow people, and that based on your race doesn't determine your sort of disposition is kind of the majority of the narrative that is happening right now, and the questions that are being asked. What effect or potential conflict would occur with side quests to the campaign storyline? So when Vistani goes and you go do a little quest to search for a certain item, imagine, and it'll be a lot like merchant groups going to like find items to bring them back. Imagine that sort of thing. And then a Vistani group would go out and have a quest that doesn't affect the storyline, and we don't have to worry about there being any clashes, but you can do outside quests. In the actual world, again, being and living in that world is huge for an opportunity for interaction with the players. There are Vistani settlements all over Barovia that the players could stumble upon, interact with. So those are kind of the big kind of side quests that conflict could occur positively and not negatively. Digotom asks, can you talk about the adventure crates? What is the status right now? Yes. I've had this question often lately, and I will say here, we're going to be updating our Kickstarter really soon, and our subscribers, and in complete full transparency and honesty, the pandemic has decimated our adventure box business. Going 4 months without the ability to ship boxes and receive that kind of revenue has really severely impacted that business. So that doesn't mean it's dead. That doesn't mean we're right now trying to figure out how in a post-pandemic or currently in pandemic world we can still potentially run this business and make right to all of our subscribers who have supported us and to our Kickstarters who have supported us. But it's difficult. Many companies have shut down because of the pandemic, and unfortunately we did not go unscathed. Thankfully, we have a streaming business that kind of allows us to continue to move forward and do the things that we like to do, and that helps to support things. But a goods-based business like the box business has been incredibly difficult for us. So I don't have a status. Right now it's still on hold. We're not shipping boxes right now. We have a bunch of product in our warehouse, but missing certain products. So we have to circle around, and that's part of what I'm going to do in the next 2 weeks, is try and get some answers as to where everything sits there. So I appreciate your patience and your support. I understand what it's like to pay for something or expect something and not get it. And my heart breaks to not be able to. And, I've been somewhat silent sometimes on the Kickstarter and regarding the boxes because we don't have answers. And I want to give you answers, but I don't have them. And so to keep saying, I don't know is hard for me. So this is just my complete honesty with everyone out there regarding that. And if you have further questions, we'll take them. Glock89 asks, we are just happy you keep thinking about us. Thank you, Glock89. Appreciate that. Deacon Blue says, the Vistani would make a great permanent branch of the RS Discord, wouldn't they? They can access all D&D worlds after all. Exactly. That's my thought, right? I actually had a Vistani in the inn of the noob stream on Tales from the Shattered Shield, if you remember, who is telling us, who's telling fortunes and things like that. So that was cool. Kohelith 123 says, any required background, i.e. sailor, pirate, Ties of Wildemount, Curse of Strahd equivalent for new characters? We'll work all that out. So before you start running and creating characters, this is where things sit right now. The Discord for Tides of Wildemount is at least going to be open until next Monday, this coming Monday. So continue that, and we will let you know with days of advance when all of that will be shut down and frozen, and the new stuff will go up. There will probably be a little bit of downtime. I don't know how long, but as soon as we have information, we will let you know when to create characters that are Vistani from then. But again, the Vistani have an ability to tell, some of them have the ability to tell fortunes and tell the future, and so the tiers will determine kind of what abilities those Vistani have, which again will be fun and cool. We also talked about the idea of like, your character could want magical items and doesn't start with them at a first level, but maybe at tier 3 you start with the magic item, or something like that. It's kind of the idea that we have for how we're honoring tier 3s for the added resource. And to remember too that, you know, most channels don't give things like this to their subscribers. You're just subscribing to support the channel, to create great streaming opportunities. For us, we want to give back. So our bonus for you subscribing to our channel to help us run this channel and create the things that you see, is to provide this kind of entertainment to you. So, and we thank you for it. Emperor 10mm asks, I was thinking, or 10 Mile, I was thinking the same about possibly making a werewolf type of vampire type character that is mad about and or interested in not being part of Strahd's workers, whatever. Thoughts on making characters such as this and or clans? All still on the table. We're still deciding what exactly we want to do with all of that. So stay tuned there. But yeah, I mean, nothing has been sorted yet, and nothing has been discussed or decided yet. The Antipodian D20 asks, can people pre-purchase boxes in a Kickstarter-style event? It would help cash flow and prevent sold out and people waiting. I don't have answers on that yet. People have pre-bought boxes. People have boxes, rewards coming from Kickstarter that they are waiting on that we have to deliver. And so that has already kind of happened, and we're just trying to figure out how to make it all work. Leah asks, Jason, do you run science fiction games? Star Wars, Star Trek, Starfinder. I would love... Back in the day, I ran a game called Top Secret. It was like a spy-based game. I loved it. It was so much fun. And it was a great break from like the fantasy genre. I'd love to run a cyberpunk game at some point, which maybe we'll do in the near future, because it is the first part of our cyberpunk session is the most viewed video ever on our YouTube, period, of all time. It's over 100,000 views, I think, at this point. So there's definitely a audience for that out there. So hopefully that all answers your questions about that. So Vistani is kind of the seed from which we are growing the community RP that will exist next season. You'll get lots of information in the next week and a half, leading into the premiere, so that you have community opportunities and RP opportunities within the community at the table when we launch our next season of Into the Mist. And Emperor says one-shots would be a great idea, and I agree. We've talked about doing that. And just a reminder too, regarding the one-shot that we had 4 fans win, we are planning to run that one of the days in these 2 weeks, hopefully. There's a lot to be done, and we want to run that as the giveaway winners won that one-shot. We want to run that, and I'd like to get that out of the way before we get into the Mist. So just stay tuned for that. We're going to try and schedule that real soon. I know a lot of you are waiting on that, and we're excited to do it as well. Kit Matari has a question. What are the details on the Founders and Legends special event? Great idea. So July 18th is Founders and Legends. It is an event to celebrate both the old guard of D&D and the new guard, the new kind of celebrities and all the new kind of personalities that are involved. So there's going to be 2 channels, I know that for sure. We're hosting the Legends channel, which is kind of the new breed, and GaryCon Twitch is going to host the Founders channel, which is kind of the old guard, and some of the classic folks who made D&D even exist. So there's 2 channels. We're hosting the second one, which is the Legends one, and we are in the main spot in the evening on the Saturday night, and that will be the Into the Mist premiere. That's all I know so far. That's not all I know so far. That's all I can say so far. And we're working on releasing more information about that in the next week or so as well. But we want to make that great. So we appreciate all of your support in spreading the word about all of that. It's going to be awesome. And I cannot wait to see how Into the Mist does this next season. If you remember, our viewership was quite a bit lower in Into the Mist, just because we were kind of a new entity on the D&D Twitch, and now we're much bigger with Wildemount. So I'm praying and hoping that those that enjoyed Wildemount, even though they may not be into Curse of Strahd, will still join us for Into the Mist, as the players at the table are familiar and the story is riveting. And again, we are still a PG-13 show, and so there are horror elements and all of that stuff, but we still try and keep it pretty wholesome, and PG-13 movie. There's some swearing and there's some goriness and some violence and some action, which will occur in Into the Mist, as it does. But we're so excited, guys. I just can't tell you how much I love our community. I can't tell you how much of an honor it is to do this. I can't tell you how excited I am about the future of RealmSmith. There's so much in the works right now for future content because of the support that we get from you guys. The more support, the more views, the more people that tune in, the more we're able to do this, the more sponsors we can bring in, and the more attention we get from the community and the industry in general. And I'm telling you, it is a wild ride, and we're so happy to have you along for it, because it is such a great opportunity for y'all and us to connect around a game that we love so very much. Why is everybody saying fangs in the chat? Is that like thanks but fangs because it's Into the Mist? I'm a little confused as to what that means. Oh, I see. Let's have a quick sound off. Sidfar says, type fangs if you're coming back for Into the Mist Discord. Fangs, 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 fangs. Lots of fangs. I love it. Oh, it's great. It's great. Awesome. I'm so glad. You guys. I'm getting misty again. Love you guys. And as much as I can't be involved in the day-to-day Discord stuff, the mods are incredible. And I will be involved as much as I can. I try and dig in. I am always kind of watching. You guys know that. And especially as Strahd, he always is ever watchful. And you guys are incredible. Thank you so much for making last night incredible. Thank you so much for the bits contributions. I can't tell you how much that's appreciated. I can't tell you how much that does for our stream and the ability to do it. It takes resources to do this. And we don't want it to ever feel money grabby. We don't ever want to feel like we're taking advantage of our community. We want it to feel like you guys are getting something back. You guys are getting entertainment, you're getting involvement, you're getting interactivity. That's incredibly important to us, and we want to make sure that continues. And yes, Grigori will be back at the table for the next season, as we want to get back to helping out the kids, for the kids. Okay, with that, I will say good night. I will say be safe. I will say I cannot wait to see you guys in a couple weeks for the Into the Mist finale premiere. And I will say that you guys have been absolutely incredible through all of this. And this is just the beginning, guys. Just the beginning. The kind of attention that we're getting in general means that we're going to be doing this for a long time. So we thank you. We love you. Stay safe, and we'll see you in Barovia. Take care, guys.